Something good?
Hi, I'm Amber, by the way, I'm new. I got a client pre-qualified with Lindsay yesterday. I had an open house on the 30th, and the very next day went to showings, picked up another client, so I'm working with them now. So.
Great job. Awesome. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the slides up. Cindy, if you want to come up front, we're gonna share event. Yeah, I'll do that after the yep, I'll do you. Yep. The list. Oh, yeah.
So while you're doing that, would you mind if I share, tell me something good?
Not at all.
So, had a great time at EXP for those of you who went, everything that Tom said and Rob said. I had two amazing guys, Kylan and Joseph, who went, it was their first EXP. They got in all the right rooms and all the right conversations, and they just signed their ICA with EXP.
Sorry, guys.
Teaching part, we're ready for the initiation part.
Tom's got a gauntlet set up out in the parking lot afterwards.
Bring water balloons and.
Free.
That's your evening party then.
Well, since grabbing some notes, guys, can you please scan the QR code? We like to collect attendance, but mostly we like to provide information back to you. So if you want to know what's going on in Brent's world and all the upcoming events we have, go ahead and scan.
If you haven't scanned it before, scan
Okay.
it. If you've already done it, you don't need to redo it.
Yeah.
You just need to, if you're not on our list, go ahead and scan it.
Awesome. And then, all right. I was going to say after all that.
Well done.
All right, so let's talk about this first, you guys. This is a really exciting event coming up, and I hope you guys can all make it. Have you guys all been to Catavadera before? If you have, it's worth going to. It's beautiful. Actually, my daughter just took her homecoming pictures there. But this is really exciting. So they're doing 30 rallies across the United States, you guys, and this is for us. This is for EXP agents. We don't have a lot of events where we bring each other together to recognize our production. And this is all about production. This is not about recruiting. And this is giving you the opportunity to be in front of those mega agents, those icon agents. And for 40 bucks to be able to make these connections, you guys, and make those connections to get those open houses from those mega agents is why you need to be at this. So if you guys want to sign up for it, you could go to the Eventbrite right here. And I really encourage it because I tell you guys, referrals, knowing people in this industry, meeting those mega agents, where else can you do that for 40 bucks? It's really hard to get in a full of a room of mega agents. And this is our opportunity in a beautiful setting. So I hope you guys could all join us there.
Awesome.
And is that EXP exclusive or for all agents?
Only EXP. Only EXP only. So yeah, very exclusive. And we're lucky to have one right here too. So we're very excited about it.
Awesome. And then we have our biggest event, right, coming up in November. So business planning, what do you think of that one, Cindy?
So I'm a workman success system person. You guys, I can't even tell you how big this is. This is Rural Workman. I've been coaching with them for 5 years. I've never personally got to meet him in person. As we know, if you guys come every year, this is the training that Rick G. Hall used to teach. And he was taught by this man. If you guys can all be there, because I'm telling you, we've been doing this since we were at KW. What we set our goals with actually comes from Workman. If there's any event you're going to be out to prepare yourself for next year, please do not miss Rural. This is huge. I've never even seen him come to California. So this is, I literally almost cried when I found he was coming. This is so big. So please do not miss this opportunity to set your goals and especially your intentions, because that was kind of one of the biggest things they were seeing at EXPCon. All about intentions right now. Get your intentions and your integrity straight.
Sorry to add something, but this one, somehow that the registration link isn't on there, I'm not sure why, but it's plan24.eventbrite.com. Plan24.eventbrite.com. Let's make sure you spell that correct.
Your mind will be blown. The amount of information and the tools will probably give you guys. Usually when you walk out of this, you guys get about $1,000 worth of free tools that he teaches you. But this is how I've done my my planning of the next year for the last 10 years, and it works. So please, please come to this class if any class.
Awesome. So before Cindy takes it away with the main event today, if we can have JJ come up and give us a quick lender update, that would be great. And I'm gonna slide this over because you don't need the slide.
All right, and somebody come grab my seat right here. I can stay in the back. Manu, anybody else want to come? So hey, good to see you guys. I'm JJ Mack. I work with American Pacific Mortgage. Couple of quick little updates. I'm sure you've all heard, but I want to just confirm these things. You will know that the loan limits have gone up. So let's just say you're buying an $820,000 house and you put 5% down, still a conventional loan nowadays. So those are going up. You can do that today. So we don't know what the 2, 3, or 4 unit loan limits are going to be just yet, but the single family resident are now up to 750, which is over a $25,000 increase. When I started this business back in 2008-9, they were at 417. So they've gone up a ton since then. Secondly, we will see a 5% down program coming out with conventional. It's going to be for 2, 3, and 4 unit properties. So it's an amazing opportunity. If you have a first-time home buyer that want to get into the investing space, this is a great opportunity for them to be able to go and do that. One little caveat, you cannot use rental income from those 2, 3, and 4 other units if they're going to be living in, they have to be living in one. So the other units you can't use rental income from unless you're putting a higher down payment or you've had previous experiences as a landlord. So just a couple of quick things that have come out. Interest rates are still on the rise. We did see it come down a little bit this last week, but that looks like that's maybe tapering out now. But don't let that get the best of you. I do want to talk about one quick thing here, an experience that I've had this last week with one of the agents in this room. It's Manu. Yeah, give Manu a round of applause. She got a deal in escrow, and I want to tell you how she got that deal in escrow because it's really cool. She a couple of weeks ago, she sent me a text and said, "Hey, I've got this guy. He just wants some information. Probably not going to turn anything. Are you interested in talking to him?" Absolutely. So they always hear about the opportunity. You always hear that thing, opportunity knocks. Well, that's kind of opportunity knocking, right? There's somebody asking at the door. But the thing is I really like the statement, opportunity doesn't knock. You got to go tackle that door down to get that opportunity, right? Because opportunity is there, but unless you do anything about it, nothing's going to happen. So Manu, got me this person's phone number, said, he just want to talk about assumable loans. I can't do anything with assumable loan. I told him to call Wells Fargo, see if they would allow him to assume the loan. Manu and I were kind of out of the picture, but we continue to follow up. We continue to do the things that we needed to do. A couple days ago, he called over to Manu and she said, I want to go see a house. That assumable loan didn't work out. That person is now in escrow at a $600,000 price point, which has got a deal in escrow. Don't let those opportunities go to waste. The point of the story is keep at it. Whatever the little things are, sometimes the littlest thing can turn into the biggest opportunity. So don't take it for granted. Get out there. Looking forward to hearing all your presentation today. Cindy, thanks so much, guys. Oh yeah, great. You can text me on my cell phone. It's 916-390-2463.
Awesome. Thank you, JJ.
Thanks, guys.
Pull your slides.
Well, that's good news because when I started in real estate in 1977, you know what the loan limit was? Yeah. I got $60,000. Yeah, the price was $58,000. So I think that's good news. Price for the car today.
Yeah, so just keep in mind the spotlight there.
Question, I actually have a couple questions to start off. I want to know, can you raise your hand if you're under 3 years in this business? Okay, I'm so excited you guys are here. And I'm excited that all of you veterans have showed up to learn from me as well today. So thank you guys. I know today was hard for some of us to get out of bed today. So I want to thank every one of you who actually showed up because the most important thing is that you actually show up. And especially right now, as they said, 86% of our California realtors will be gone by the end of December. Those people are not showing up that we're going to see leave the market. So thank you guys for showing up today. So my next question for you is, as we know, in business, we always should have 4 pillars of business. I want everyone to raise their hands that open house is one of their 4 pillars. Perfect. And if not, it should be, you guys. There's not only one way of business, you should always have 4 ways. And I'm thinking, for me, open houses has the biggest success. So I want to tell you guys, started off with how my real estate business started here. So I'm not from here. I'm from the Bay Area. So when I came here and it was time to do open houses, I was like, people like, do you want to go to Carmichael? I'm like, where's Carmichael? Like, I have no idea. Like, sure, I'll do it. So I want you guys to know that if you're out there, please choose the towns you don't know if you're new to this area or you're a new agent. Start with not where you're familiar, where you're not familiar. So you will learn. Because some people these days, they won't say, I want to move to Lincoln. They're going to tell you, I want to move to Catavadera. You better know where Catavadera is and know it's in Lincoln. So start by expanding yourself. Go to those areas that you do not know. And I also want to tell you guys, when I started this business too, you don't need to have money to start doing open houses. I am not joking that when I started this business, I was able to make one photocopy of a flyer and I framed it because that's all I could afford to put on the counter. Didn't have a driver's license. There was a lot of things going on. But if you follow what I'm going to teach you today, you can make $500,000 a year. It is that easy by just following these simple steps. These are the steps that Brent has proven to us. Plus I've added on to it to show you how to do a killer open house. All right. So we're going to start here. How do you find an open house? So the key to finding an open house is you want to find something that recently has gone on the market. So generally we look for listings 3 weeks and under. We don't want to go for houses that have been on the market 5, 6, 7 weeks, because guess what? Everyone's already seen them. However, if they have been on the market 6, 7 weeks and they're going to do a big price drop, you want to be there the weekend that they do the price drop. So that's how you do it. And of course, if you don't know how to tell if it's 3 weeks, it's just DOM, days on the market for the new people, is how you're going to tell. Open houses should be booked by Tuesday. You do not wait till Thursday. You do not wait till Friday. And you also don't book them on Monday, because what happens on Monday? They're probably going to go pending. So that's why you want to call on Tuesday. Open houses must be booked on Tuesday because you need time to get in contact with the lender. KV Core takes a couple of days if you want to post it on that. Plus all your social media. So you want your open houses on Tuesday so you could start marking them. Do not wait, because you wait and guess what? Everyone else is booked. Smart people had everything booked. All the lenders, everybody had it already booked. Now you go, well, which house do I pick? What you want to pick, the best houses to pick is something near a major street, near a thoroughway. We don't want to be out and cool down, a dirt road that no one's going to come to. You want to pick where there's mass traffic. You want to be by the Galleria Mall. You want to be by, major restaurants. You want to be where you can pull those people off, because Jen's house is a perfect example. They were on their way to wine tasting. We pulled our signs from wine tasting. Guess who bought her house? Someone who was on their way wine tasting, who was not looking for a house. And they went $30,000 over asking to get her house. And they were just on their way wine tasting. So you would think, oh, we're out there, but guess what? We pulled from the wine trail, and that's how Jen's house just sold. So make sure you're near there. Next thing is vacant homes. The reason vacant homes are easier. Number one, you don't have to deal with the pets going in and out, or them, generally you show up and they're like, get the kids out. If you could avoid it, vacant homes are the way to go. If they're occupied, that's okay, but try to get vacant homes first. And if you guys don't know how you find vacant homes, you go on the MLS under additional terms, click the vacant button, all the vacant homes will come up. So it's that easy. You don't have to try to figure it out by pictures. You just hit the vacant button. Now when it comes time to calling that agent, do not text an agent, can I have your open house? I will tell you right now, you did that. Well, if you know me, it's a little different. But if you didn't know me, I'm probably not going to respond, because your job as an agent is to sell yourself to that agent that you want to do their open house. And the reason is because you do a real good job, they're going to keep calling you back and calling you back and calling you back to that house sell. So you need to sell yourself. And if you are a new agent, you don't know how to sell yourself, you just let them know, you guys, we're part of a team. We're all a team here. So they don't need to know you're a brand new agent. They need to know you're part of this mega team right here. So if you need help on how to sell yourself, use all of us to help sell yourself to start out. And I guess, should I hold questions for the end? Probably. I'll do that. Okay, next one.
Control.
Sorry. Well, she's looking for that. Any questions about this so far? Oh, I could go on. Okay,
Here we go.
let's talk about this. Okay, everyone should have an open house box. Now, if you don't know what that is everything you need to do an open house should be in a box or a basket, and all you need to do is grab it every single weekend. So let's talk about some of the things that should be in the open house box. Number one, toilet paper. Big homes usually don't have toilet paper. So I'm telling you, toilet paper is number one. Number two is a candle and a lighter, because sometimes these houses smell. I've got a listing right now that smell. So candles and lighters are number two. You're gonna want a business card holder because they're not gonna have one there for you. You're gonna need a flyer stand. You're gonna need a table, a tablecloth, a chair. Who else has some stuff they would like to add that's in their open house box? Anyone else have that?
always throw in paper towels.
Yes, Lysol wipes.
Speaker.
Speaker, speaker. You always have to have music playing. Speaker is a great one.
9-volt battery for smoke detectors.
Oh, God.
That is a great one. So,
Some tools like screwdrivers, a knife to cut things.
I just keep a Swiss Army knife in my car and I can do almost anything.
Yeah?
with that sucker.
who else has something? Garbage can for me, pepper spray. Pepper spray is something I always keep in my pocket at all open houses. I don't care how nice it is. My open houses that have been robbed during my open houses were in the most expensive areas. It does not happen in North Highlands. It happens in Granite Bay. It happens in Folsom. It happens in El Dorado Hill. So do not be fooled by the location. That's where they're coming to get you. Tom.
A little
Tom.
sign that says, don't forget to ask about our off-market properties.
Absolutely.
Two things, a sign on the door, because I have people that just knock all the time, and I'm like, it's an open house.
Yeah.
So just to put a sign that we're open, come in, so that people don't have a delay, they just come in. And the other thing is a flashlight, especially in the winter and things are getting darker earlier, you wanna have a flashlight if emergencies, something goes out, flashlight's always good to have.
Snacks.
Yeah, I did.
That absolutely.
Don't get into the cabinet, don't get into their food.
Okay, and this is a good point. So do you guys know why snacks and waters are so important, like Tom is saying? It is so important. You should never do an open house without snacks and waters. And the reason is because you guys, they're spending more time at your property. I mean, you will have people that will grab snacks and bail, but most of the time they're gonna sit out by the pool, have their snacks, you know, or like for me, I like doing charcuterie boards. They'll sit there and have a conversation with you as they're making their plates up. It is the best way to start a conversation is due to the snacks. Or, and if they have kids, it's an easy way too. You're like, your kids are great, you know, you can tell they're done looking at open houses. Here's, you know, a snack for the kids. You're the hero.
I could go on and on, but I used to hand out a quart of ice cream when they would leave. Cause you know what would happen on a hot day? They gotta go home, right?
Yeah.
Sounds like cookies.
Actually, Lennar started doing that, sending people home with ice cream. Okay, next one is signs. Okay, I'm gonna have a raise of hand. Who puts out 10 signs? And just 10. Who puts out 20 signs? Who puts out 30 signs? Everyone's hand should be raised for 30 signs. It is not about, now, don't get me wrong, some areas, they're very hard, especially, you know, you get out in the country. But you should always, the more signs, the better. We've got to have a mass amount of signs. Don't be one of those people just puts one right in the driveway and walk away. People are coming in from the signs, you guys, and you need to lead them to it from the signs. So we are, you know, if you only have 10 signs, you need to get more. And if you guys don't have enough, did we bring the extra ones? I brought some extra ones that you guys could have for free, and I'll leave them in this office over here. Don't be afraid to ask. People will be more than happy to lend them to you. So you're better to ask than not have enough.
I've got some too, so.
One thing on the signs too, if any of you don't know this from Brent, we didn't talk about this yesterday, but always have, like Tom said, on our signs, it says free list of area homes. That's where the off-market thing comes in. And my signs personally have my phone number on it, which is great when Thunder Valley takes your signs. At least they'll call you to give them back to you. Not that that's ever happened to me, I wouldn't know, but you know, I always have my number on them. And the free list of area homes, which again is a Brent Gove thing, but it works great because people literally still come in, even in this technology age or whatever. They come in going, you have a free list of homes. It's the weirdest thing, but people still like it.
And then I leave it to do you know the town's ordinance? Where do you put your signs? Because I could tell you guys, I live in Rockland. If you guys do not know Rockland, it is against the rules to put anything in a center medium. And if you could stand on a corner and see any other signs, it's against the rules. They will take all of them and the police will come and shut down your open house. It happened in my own neighborhood, listing my neighbor's house, and it was so embarrassing when the cops came to shut down my open house and all the neighbors like, what did you do? Open house in the medium, I guess. So, and, to buy the signs back are $20. We buy them for 10, but to get them from the police, they're 20. So they're gone. I lost 30 signs that day and I did not get to do an open house. It was embarrassing. Please know your sign ordinance in every town. They will take them and they will shut you down. Lisa?
Yeah, did you say you are on one corner and you can see the
Yep.
other on the other?
That's
Yep.
Rockland.
Rockland, yeah.
Rockland and Roseville in certain areas have much stricter rules than like Sun City. Yeah, Sun City, you have to have their own particular, there's like
Right.
one sign for London. So you just have to know.
For Lincoln and blue for Roseville, that's it.
Right.
You have to use it.
Yeah, but, and there's just certain areas that are just a little bit stricter and certain parts of Roseville that are stricter. So you either need to know the ordinances or stay out of those towns.
Yeah,
My
especially you guys, especially gated communities like Sun City and Lincoln, you can only do open houses on Saturday and Sunday at a certain time.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, those people have nothing better to do than turn you in and shut you down over that. So please know your ordinance. If you don't know, the police department's usually very helpful, but most stuff is usually posted on the city website. Also, next thing you must know is know your open house. Don't just show up and like, here's a flyer. You guys need to be doing research prior to going to that open house. And if you're booked on Tuesday, you have plenty of time. So let's talk about some of the things you must know. Here where we live, I think the number one thing knowing is your school district. Because especially, let's see, Roseville. It's a big selling feature. Are you gonna go to West Park? Are you going to Center? That will kill a deal right there. You say the wrong thing, they are gonna hold you to it. Know your school districts, especially in Placer County, because it's the number one reason people are moving to Placer County is our school district. And you know, there are parts of Rockland that go to Rockland, Whitney, and Delora. Some people are like, what, Delora? That's not in Rockland, but there, and it will be, there are certain areas, it will be Rockland, 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 Delora, Rockland, 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 Delora. Know what your house is. It is very important in the school district. Second thing I've noticed is what's really important is, I think we're going too far. Is where the nearest parks are and trails. People are moving here from the Bay Area for outdoor living. So you need to be there early to drive around and know where those parks are. So you can, especially people walking with kids. Hey, did you guys know there's a park 2 blocks down the road? You should take your kids after this. Know what's around there. HOA rules. You're doing an open house and an HOA, you better know those rules because they're gonna come with lots of questions regarding those HOA. So if you don't have them, ask the listing agent. You know, most of the areas we know them, but you'll start to remember them and take notes, you guys. So if you're in, you know, Sun City, take the notes of what those rules are. You go to another HOA, write those rules down so you guys always have them and you know, you're very educated. And so when you call and book these, you already know this property, so they're gonna want you to do it. Let's see, what is the next one? Okay, yeah, we go to the next one. So the next one is, this is one of my big things. So when you're going to do an open house, the day before, you should be hitting 50 to 100 neighbors and inviting them to an open house. Now, this is just an example of one of mine that I just did. This is all made on Canva, you guys. Canva is free, super easy. That took me all of like 30 seconds to make. We went out and we invited the whole neighborhood. This one now, I do some things different. So when I know like this listing was gonna be insane. Some of them, you know, you're gonna have 100 people at your listing because it's a good listing. So what I want to do is I don't want the neighbors in that open house. They're going to be chatting. They're going to be in the way of some mysterious buyers. For this open house, I did my open house 1 to 4. The neighbor's open house was 4:30 to 5:30. So they're not, it's, you know, gives me the time with those people, but also these neighbors are the best when you promote your open house. And they feel really special when you do it. And for them, you know, I do something a little bit different. They get, you know, they get some kind of nicer food and they usually get cocktails at theirs. But it's an hour, you guys. And let me tell you, they remember that. So when they go to sell their house, they're like, remember she invited us to the neighbor's only open house? That is a big thing. And I will tell you how I got this listing was they were invited to another one of my listings down the street. And they actually ended up buying that. I ended up double ending it because they bought that listing and then I sold their house and I double ended that house too. From open houses, guys. So that was a total, just that one, $3.5 million was what that deal closed. That open house was $3.5 million worth of sales. Now that took me all of 20 seconds to go do, and if you guys got kids, you could pay them to pass these out. That's why we drop them down there and go, all right, guys, you got $10 an hour, see how many you can do. So if you got kids,
And if you don't, you can borrow some of mine, I have
that's
spare.
true. All right, you go to the next one. If you can, okay. Now let's say if you can't book an open house. If you cannot book an open house because you waited till Thursday or Friday, do not take the weekend off. I want you guys to know, especially you new people, I made a vouch to my family and friends and said, hey guys, I'm new to this business. I'm not from here. I'm gonna have to miss everything for 1 year. I literally missed my nephew's baptism because I committed to doing open house every single weekend, whether one was booked or not. So please, if you guys are taking weekends off and not doing anything, you guys are gonna be one of those statistics that's not gonna make it. You need to be working every single weekend. So if you're not booking it, you should be shadowing an agent, especially new people. Get out there and shadow. That's what I did. I would sit there at Darcy and Tabby's open house and just sit on the couch, pretend like I was a buyer and listen to what they were saying. I'm also going to other people's open houses, writing notes. Oh, I like what they're doing. Oh, I don't like what they're doing. Oh my God, look, they're just sitting there on a chair. Here's a flyer. You know, you want to learn from other agents. You want to shadow them. And what Jared and I used to do when we were in the beginning, we would literally take our kids out and we would pretend like we were buyers. I don't lie, you know, but we'd still fill out all their books and everything. And when they would call, I'd have to tell them, I was just, you know, I'm new. I was just trying to see how you guys were doing the open houses. But we would go as a family and go to as many open houses as we could in the weekend. If you're not working, you can go to 25 open houses and learn from 25 different agents. So if you're not working, shadow. And if you're not working, go to new construction, you guys. They're open on the weekend. You could be out there shooting video of these new constructions. Everyone else thinks you're working on social media, but really you didn't book an open house, you got new construction. So do not take a weekend off. I cannot express this enough. The biggest source of leads are from open house.
Yeah.
You've got to be working them. You've got to be working them. Okay. All right, we go to the next one.
Screen keeps freezing, sorry.
It's okay. Okay, so now we're gonna do the day of the open house. So the day of the open house, you want to show up to the house first, 60 to 90 minutes prior to the open house. You don't start from the sign, you work backwards from your house. If you need to get there, let's say if they're vacant, sometimes you go in the winter and it's like 30 degrees in there, right? You need to get in there, you need to set the temperature right. You need to turn on all the lights, you need to open all the blinds. Sometimes then you would think, we got to clean windows, sometimes we have to clean toilets. There's a lot of things we have to do. Sometimes you walk in, you're like, oh my goodness, this is not what it looked like on pictures. So you want to be there early enough to have your entire open house set up, your music playing, your open house book open, or your computer or your iPad, whatever one you're doing to get people to sign in. You want your snacks out, your water. You want that open house set up perfectly. So if you get stuck making those 4 corners, that takes you 20 minutes to walk across all of them. When you could just jet back and you open that door and it's ready to go. So you always want to be prepared for that open house. Now we are going to talk about sign placement. This is so crucial. This is something Brent has taught us all, is how to put your signs. You just don't put them out where you want them. There is actually a strategy. The purpose of your signs is to direct them where to go. Now, Jen and I were just laughing about it the other day. It's like, you'll see all the time, people putting their signs on this side of the pole, but the traffic's coming this way. Who's reading them? No one is reading them. And you have to direct them with the arrows, and you're directing them off those major thoroughways through there. And sometimes there's different directions to these houses. You take the nicest direction. They will follow the signs versus their MapQuest if you have enough signs out. So we want to make sure that we place them in the right way with the right direction. If you could put them on all 4 corners, do. And you have to think about it. Where the car stops, when they're stopped at that stop sign or stoplight, you should be looking at it, not the back side of it, looking at it. Okay. Why did I have confused? Oh, I'm okay. Here, so
Just for time, color,
on that, please, I don't know why this just tied it in, but it did. I'm kind of pimping yourself out. Please dress appropriately. I've had agents kicked out of open houses for inappropriate dressing. You need to dress.
It only happened at one time, okay?
Just kidding, it wasn't me. You need to dress according to the value of the home. Like, I would not show up to North Highlands like this. This would make them feel very, very uncomfortable. But you know, if I was gonna go at 800,000, I would wear this. So you need to dress that makes the people feeling comfortable, that they want to talk to when they're coming in. So don't think you always have to be really dressed up, because you make people feel very, very uncomfortable. And jeans are okay in the right area.
And I will say this, I learned this from my own personal experience, tagging on that. If you're going to a $2 million house though, that is a horse ranch, do not go dressed like that.
Yeah.
I came
Yes.
downstairs one day going to a $1.2 million horse ranch years ago. And I had originally said, oh, I'm gonna wear my cowgirl boots and my, jeans. And I come downstairs, I felt awkward because it was at the time, the highest priced open house I'd ever done. I come downstairs, he starts laughing at my husband. And he's like, what are you doing? Did you say with a horse ranch? I go, yes, but it's this price. And he goes, go change right now, you're gonna regret it. Sure enough, I would have been covered in dust and dirt because everybody wants horse info and I'm out at that barn showing, and it would have been the wrong house for that type of dress.
Absolutely. And kind of piggybacking what she says, a lot of, country properties, you should always have two agents. One to handle the outside and one to handle the inside. So this would be okay inside.
Yes.
I would look ridiculous outside. Every time there's a country property, you're wearing your cowboy boots, you're wearing jeans, you're wearing what you would normally wear outside. And it's okay if you guys are dressed different, because it's, it's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Okay, next slide. Okay, this is kind of sign placement. So I just took an area I thought you guys might all know, because Johnson Springview Park is right here. So this is a great example of where to pull from. So here we see right here, this is Sunset and Whitney, major street right here. So we're gonna do all four corners there. Then we go up to Sunset and Topaz, another major corner. We're gonna go up to the corner where it is, and the red part is the house. Then you can see we're gonna pull not only from that part of Whitney, but from Whitney and Argonaut and Midas, because those are major, major streets. You can see we're kind of going all around it. I mean, you would, and let me tell you, you need to put straight arrows too along the way. So just not the corners. If you're direct, you should about every, I'd say, depending on how far away it is, but about every 2 blocks, you should have a sign. So they have no, and I will tell you, because sometimes there's open houses around you. Like for this one, I knew there was 2 open houses on Midas. I knew there was one off of Topaz. And guess what? I went to all those open houses after this one and saw how many people they had. We were averaging about 150 people per open house day. The one that was the run Topaz, she had 4. And she was an agent selling her own house. Guess how many signs she had? 1, right in front of her house. She was on a side street. No one saw it. She was like, I saw the cars, but they were going to yours. I'm like, you had 1 sign. So signage is so, so important. Next one. Okay. What do we say at an open house? Now I know being new is kind of hard. You're like, they come in here. Okay, here's the wire. You need to know what to say. You guys, doing an open house, not about selling the house, right? It's about getting leads. That is what, now of course we want to sell the house for the listing agent, but it's really about getting leads. We are not going to be talking about the house. You will go to open house and like, here's a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, like, yeah, we already read it on the MLS, right? You are there to sell yourself, and you want to sell yourself by talking to them about them. So for example, I always look for, when they come through the door, what stands out about them that I can connect with them. Someone walks in with a Niners shirt, I'm like, we've already built a rapport. Hey, don't be jealous. Do they have kids? Oh my gosh, where do your kids go to school? Start the conversation with them, not about you, not about the house. Find that connection, because why do people work with you? And they felt a connection with you. So make that connection right out of the door. Find something about everyone to connect with them. Connect with people. Some people are like, don't talk to me. Just let them go. Do not waste your energy on the people that we can't convert. Focus on the people we can convert, okay? So that is it. And if you don't know what to do, there's the Ford rule. Has anyone ever heard of the Ford rule? Okay, so for those of you who don't, these are things that you could talk about when you don't know. The F stands for family. Talk to them about their family. A lot of people are moving here from the Bay Area to what? Be closer to their kids and their grandkids. Talk about their family. O is occupation. A lot of people are, working from home, so they rather move from the Bay Area to here because they can live a better life and they're working from home. So now we're gonna focus on, somewhere that has a good internet. Next one is art, recreational. You guys are like one of the best places ever. We're so close to Tahoe. Sell our area to them. Like, did you know you could be at Kings Beach in 90 minutes? And people like from the Bay Area that normally takes me 5 hours, are like 90 minutes. I'm like, you could go and come back in the same day. Like, get them excited about all the amenities that are really close to us because we have so many amazing things. And no, like I said, that's why you got to know those trails, those parks, all those recreational things, so you could have that conversation with them. And the last one is dreams. My favorite one is the first time homebuyers that come in. They wanted the dream of becoming a homeowner. Talk about that with them. Talk about their wants, their needs. Tell them how exciting it was when you bought your first house. Make that connection in some way to get them connected. Or the easiest thing is, where are they from? I mean, I don't care if you have a realtor or not. If you're from Sonoma County coming in my open house, I'm stealing you in 2 seconds. Like, you are my person. You are from where I live. Okay, let's do a little play. We hear this all the time. What do I say? What do you say if they're like, oh, I have a realtor? Now, we all know working with Brent, and I can tell you for myself, unless they find a broker agreement, you could work with as many realtors that you possibly can. When Jared and I moved here, we had 5 realtors. So when I tell people, oh, I worked with 5 realtors moving here, they're like, wait, you're a realtor and you worked with 5 realtors? Yeah, because a lot of people have off markets that no one else has. And so don't worry about that. I'll use you, Jen, because you're sitting there. So if I came to the open house and I'm going to be the buyer and I said, I'm working with a realtor, what would your response be?
Oh my goodness, I've been in this industry for forever. Who is it I might know of?
I think I'm Stacy. I don't really know though.
Oh, so you're not super close to her then, huh?
No, I met her in the house last week. Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. So is she finding you off-market properties that aren't in the MLS at all?
I don't even know what that means, so no.
Okay, so online, you can see everything on Zillow and Realtor.com, you see those, but you know what? I work with a really large team, and guess what? We do exceptionally well. Off-market properties. So if I could find you your 3-bedroom, 2-bath dream home for an amazing price, and there was no competition because it's not actually listed online yet, is that something you'd be interested in knowing about?
Absolutely. If I give you my number now, can you send that to me today?
Absolutely.
No one said no to off market. But yeah, and especially the way to call them out, which I love doing. Oh my gosh, he's a realtor, like Jen said, because they're like, you tell us their line right out of the gate.
If you do this one more time, do it and say Darcy.
Okay. So wait, I'm the.
You need to. Oh, let's flip it.
I'll record it.
Oh, no.
Different.
Yeah.
You record it?
Okay, so I'm gonna be the buyer.
Yeah, you be the buyer.
Okay, I'll be the buyer.
But member.
Okay, you asked me.
You check. Okay, so, wait, no, I'm the realtor, right?
Yeah.
That's great that you already have an agent. Who is it?
Sharky Stratton.
Oh my God, I love Darcy. We have Matthew Jackson. You are you are so lucky to have her as your agent. I'm totally gonna tell her that I ran into you. And if I find something, I'm gonna let her know, like, you are in the best hands possible.
See what she said, she did not insult the other realtor. If you know that other realtor, do not insult them. Whatever you do, you want to build rapport with that other realtor as well. So some of them we have to let go. If they have a good realtor, let them go and congratulate them that they're working with a good realtor.
So if they don't know the realtor, is it okay to insult them?
Yeah. Okay. We'll go on to the next one. Follow up. This is key to an open house, guys. Everything is in the follow-up. Now, before you leave that open house, you better be following up with every one of those leads in your book, in your iPad, in your computer. And what that is, a simple thing is grabbing your cell phone and you do personal for every single one of them. Hey, Stacy, this is Cindy. I just want to thank you for coming to my open house at 123 Main Street. It was great to meet you. I heard your family's going to a luau tonight. I hope you guys have the greatest time. I'm going to check in with you tomorrow. Just see how that party went. Once again, not talking about the real estate, mention the address so we know it, but I'm talking about them again. I'm writing notes, you guys, as they're coming in. When they leave, I'm like, Niner fan, this guy's going to luau. I literally, in my book, write little things that I know I'm gonna have a conversation with in the follow-up video. The reason I said a luau is I literally did that with one of my clients and they did not call me back. I called again the next day, called again the next day, just wanting to see how it is. They actually already had a realtor. They were actually already in contract, but not with the realtor. Finally, the fourth time me calling them, they actually fired the realtor. I hired him and moved him into Rockland, from the Bay Area. So you just make sure that you keep the follow-up with them. Call that listing agent because, you know, she or he is like, oh my God, how did it go? How did it go? Do not go pick up your signs, which takes an hour, then go get something to eat because you've been starving all day. You call that agent right now, right? Because you want to book those open houses again. So we're going to tell her what was the feedback, positive and negative. That is so important because if there's a negative as a listing agent and we could change it, we're going to try to change that before the next open house. Positive, great things to tell your seller. Here's another thing. When we tell them numbers, so a lot of people will be all, oh, you know, you don't want to say, oh, it was only slow. There was 4 groups in. Okay, so say there was four families. We're not going to say it was a little bit slow. We only got 4 groups. We're going to say, you know what? It was a great day today. We had 16 people that came through. Not four groups, 16 people that came through. Make that number seem bigger so she or he knows that you did your job pulling those people into the open house. You don't want to call me out. There were 2 groups. You sound like you're kind of a failure. But if that was 2 groups of 10, you brought in 20 people. So make sure your follow-up is really, really good because you guys, when I started doing this, like I said, we weren't from here. I didn't know an agent. I was lucky to get on with an agent because she was a superstar mega agent. She gave me every one of her open houses for 3 years straight. And they were the biggest listings in Placer County at that time. And that's how I built my clientele because I'm not from here. We didn't know one person moving here. So, you know, it doesn't matter, you guys, just get out there and meet the people. Okay, any questions? I know I kind of threw a lot at you guys, but any questions about the open house?
Is there one place where we can find out about everybody's off-market listings? Or not listings, but off-market properties?
I am working on a, like a spreadsheet. Because we were talking about that because there's 4 of us girls who, I mean, literally every time we get an off-market listing or it's coming up, we're like, I'm like, we really need a Google Doc because then people can go in and add it. So it's in process, but we personally don't have one yet, but we're working.
Isn't that something that we could ask to the team Facebook page?
That would be
On there and say, pending off market.
Oh, that's a good idea.
The team could just go there and access it.
yeah.
Can you do one on there that you can update it as you go too? Oh, look at you, fancy pants. Tom just said he was gonna do that.
Go Cowboys.
Another thing you can do to go find an off-market property farm, call the expireds in that neighborhood, door knock in that neighborhood, call through the area, check any foreclosures in that area, so.
Call other agents that you know are big agents in that area. When I know that I'm looking for something in Loomis or behind Bass Pro Shop, who do I call? Ashley Haney. I'm like, what do you got, girl? Because she always has a million. So getting to know the agents, what areas they specialize in can also help. Because even if it's not you finding it to double end it, it's about providing an extra value that most realtors don't provide. I don't know if that helps.
Yeah, I can't say enough good things about everything that Cindy just said and about Cindy in general. However, one thing in particular where she said door knock in advance, that is so clutch because I can't tell you how many people have showed up to my open house that wouldn't, that I made a connection with the day before and I remembered their name. It's so, Cindy, great to see you. Like, yep, so glad you came by. And I've had people that I've dropped off an open house flyer that I didn't need that came anyway. And they're like, the first question I ask is, how'd you find out about it? And they go, I'm holding my flyer. So
Yeah.
You will get listings out of that. You will get business out of that. People will come, even if it's not for them, they know somebody, a huge majority of the time, oh, I'm looking for my brother. I have a coworker in the Bay Area that wants to move it to Sacramento, blah, blah, blah. Or they're gonna sell in the future. You never know. Hold on, Tom, one more question. Particularly, I did an open house for Tom, and I said to him, I'm gonna door knock. He actually stole my flyers off the printer. That's how I found out. So I did, I'm gonna door knock in advance. He goes, well, you can, but it's not really a door knocking neighborhood because it was on 13 acres. So like it would take me 10 minutes to get to the next neighbor. Yeah, I kind of want to know that in advance. Right? You need to know that kind of stuff. It's really good to ask the listing agent questions about the open house, about the property, things like that. Do that homework. It'll save you.
And it's also the opportunity to ask permission to put the sign in their yard, right? Because you don't ever put a sign in somebody's yard. I don't even care if it's on the corner of their property, you guys. That is not okay. You must knock on that door. If they do not give you permission, you better bungee cord it to the, to a stop sign that's near it, okay? Bungee cords is another one that should also be in your open house book. As we get, in the summer, our grounds are so hard here. I have not put a sign in the ground in years. We got a bungee cord them to everything. It makes it a lot easier. So,
Question, what percentage of the people that come through your open house, do you feel have a home to sell?
I would say, a lot of them, I would say a good 25% of them. Yeah, I'd say 25%. Absolutely.
Forget about that, don't they?
They do.
Get ready and promote.
And some people you would never think, like that one on Paragon that I invited those neighbors, they just remodeled their house. They were in the middle of finished remodel. They were not looking for a house, but when I came up with my listing, they were like, we need to go see it, and they bought it. And there was, but how many offers do we have on that house?
29.
I think it was 29 offers I got on that.
No, I said, yeah, because we talked about everything.
I have another little trick I do. So I always pick another house in the neighborhood that just kind of catches my eye when I'm pulling the vacant place. You know, the surroundings, you still do that. Into that, but and I show the heck out of that house immediately following my open house. So say this doesn't work for you, well, I have another one around the corner, and I will meet people from that open house. I'll set up a little appointment. I'm in the area. When can we just move over there in an hour? I'll lock the house up. I won't worry about signs. I don't even care about that at that moment. And then I've got lots of clients that way, connected with people, said, hey, here's another house in the area. You might want to pop in. It's vacant. I don't have to make an appointment. And the thing is, people are out looking, they're curious. Normally they're in that neighborhood because they like it. And maybe that house doesn't work, but then you find something else, hopefully within that week that you're showing them. And that's gross.
Like Cindy said, that was great. No one is probably offering to show them another house afterwards. You're adding that value, why they're going to be coming back to you.
Schedule clear after open house. For the most part, unless there's like a thing, so that I am prepared, because in my mind, I'm there to help somebody get into escrow ASAP.
And the biggest rule of thumb too, as a listing agent, is do not ever leave your open house early, not even 1 minute early. You guys, I am telling you, I would never book you again if I found out you left 5 minutes, if you left 5 minutes early, because those sellers are watching their Ring doorbell and they will call. They don't care if it's 5 minutes. They're going to act like it's the biggest deal in the world that you left 5 minutes early. And I will tell you, when I first started, it was torrential downpours. I mean, I was sopping wet doing this open house and nobody came. And I sat there for 3 hours, and 2 minutes before I was about to come in, these investors come in and they're like, wow. I look like a drowned rat. Like, they're like, girl, you are working hard today. They were my first investor I picked up, and it was 2 minutes away from me closing that open house. If I would have left 2 minutes early, I would have never got my first investor.
From experience, I did this house off of Florin and it wasn't my listing, but I was gonna bring candles because there was an older gentleman that lived in the house, and it kind of smelled a little like old. But the listing agent was telling me that I could not light any incense or anything because of a spiritual thing they had going on, and also I think they have some allergies or something.
Okay.
How would you deal with something like that when that bake? Ask me if you can bake
Bake
this.
cookies, something that makes,
You know, he's not your chef.
right, or the thing for that solution, a plug-in.
Yeah.
Plug it in, plug it out. I'm not gonna make my own now.
No.
But you take it to left out of here with my perfume.
Oh, there you go.
Okay.
For that, I brought like my ionizer in and set it up for 20 minutes while I was putting.
I have done,
And because it was like a mobile home and it really.
I have
Yeah.
an
it
essential
works
oil
great.
diffuser, because I did an open house that reached, thank God it was around the corner for me. I called my husband, I'm like, you need to bring me the diffuser and some citrus oil now.
Yeah.
And it's
So
it worked great.
Windows, I literally have one right now, but it's gonna hit the market today in Loomis, and it smells like old people. We have tried everything. It's just, I mean, it's right, we have everything going. So we now, we have to show up 2 hours early to this open house this weekend to air this house out. And it's one of these double-edged swords, right? Because it's in the country, so all the dust is flying in, but you know, you gotta pick your battles. Oh, Twister's another thing I always carry in my car because for examples like this.
One more question. From experience again, I was running an open house and the owners came back early and was all like, oh, we're just gonna chill in the backyard, do our own thing. You can still do your own. How would you handle something like that? 'Cause
Yeah, that is why we do things. I would tell them, no, I'm sorry, I'm not finished up with the open house. It is so weird when sellers are in an open house. I mean, it's the most awkward, 'cause I said, and I explained it to them, you know, you're gonna make everyone feel really uncomfortable because they can't voice their real opinions to me. And I want to be able to give your agent the most honest opinions about this house. So if I could just ask you to step outside for 10 minutes and I will text you, what's your number? I'll text you as soon as this is over, so you come right in.
Yeah.
So as they're cleaning up, they could come in, but yeah, get them out of there because it's just awkward for everybody at that point.
Hey Cindy, yeah, so great information, by the way, but I think we're forgetting something here, and just to bring back to Cindy as well, is bring your lender when you do this.
Yes,
And you know, you just never know. People are asking about rates right now, so might as well bring a lender so they can answer that question for you.
absolutely.
Also at the same time, back to what Cindy was talking about, you can leave your lender and go sell another house.
I blocked my oven.
So
I've literally done that too. I put a sign on there, or like out to lunch, be back in 15. I got that from Brent too.
and now you have a lender, now you can take off.
Yeah, now we're doing them one, two, safety reasons. But always, please, if it's in an area that you're not comfortable with, always have another agent or a lender. I always have a lender with me, if not another teammate. Safety is you, like I mentioned before, you guys, it is, I've heard the horror stories and they're right here. I mean, I've known multiple agents who have been tied up at their open houses and I'm not even joking. I literally talked to them. There are bad people out there and you always like, that's why I always carry pepper spray and my cell phone. You should never, ever be at an open house without your cell phone in your hands. And another thing is know your exit. Know if because they will block the door, you should have your garage door open. You should have an exit strategy of how the heck to get out of there. Something bad does happen, because don't be stupid. If people are making you feel uncomfortable, you step outside and you hold your phone and you act like you're talking to someone. Your safety is the most important thing here.
Absolutely.
Lisa.
I did one for Darcy a couple weeks ago and I loved it because she had one of those little rubber band thingies like put in your hair. You know what I mean? Those little curly things. She had on there. So what I did was I put my car key on there as well. And I put it over here so that if anybody came in, it's super remote out there. I have my phone, I got my key, boom, you know, I can run.
And I always ask you guys, you know, have it like Jordan, I have a thing. He will always call me halfway through an open house. How's everything going? Are you okay? Do you need me there? Then he calls me as soon as it's over. You should always be having someone contact you along the way. I know minutes a little bit different, but as females, you guys, you need to be checking in with people, your family, your friends, a teammate throughout your open house. Safety is important. And like I mentioned before, it's the big towns, it's the big houses, it's where the money is. They're not coming to rob, your CD player. They're coming to rob the people. I mean, I literally during an open house had $50,000 worth of jewelry stolen from my client. It was hidden in a secret drawer in their nightstand. And you guys know Albert Chavez, a lender. He's a big dude. And we cannot believe, but there were 100 people in the open house and we couldn't keep track of everyone. And the client said, you told me to remove everything from the house and you need to tell them to remove everything from the house. And they go, I don't have any more room. Put it in your car and take it with you. Put it in your trunk. I don't care what it is. If it's your favorite statue grandma gave you, get it out of that house. I've had power tools stolen. I've had cars stolen. I've had jewelry stolen. And these are all multi-million-dollar houses, guys. And I'm there with other people. These people are sly. Keep your radars out because there are people that literally, I don't know if you guys remember the people last year in Rockland that got arrested for stealing meat out of people's freezers and their candles. You guys remember that? They were meat and candle thieves. That was the weirdest thing. And they finally got caught.
Yeah.
And but like who goes into people's freezers? People do. I mean, it's your medicine. Please for children, take them all, put them in a plastic baggie and hide them and then put them back when you're done. Please make sure medication is hidden, especially with older people. These teenagers will put any pills in their mouth. Get them out of the house. You do not want to be responsible for a child dying. get him out of there.
That's actually the number one thing that's stolen at an open house, ironically, is not jewelry, it's prescription medicine.
Yeah.
So make sure you tell your clients in advance, and even text them, email, just to confirm what I told you, what we talked about, make sure you get your drugs.
Or just
get
take the
your-
pills out
yeah,
and
get
put
everything
laxatives in there and. I wonder what's in movie fast. Just a thought.
Well, it is about that time, so I want to once again, thank you guys all for showing up today, and I hope you guys all have a kick-ass open house this weekend.